Alright guys, so what we're going to do today is a little bit of an update video for the Master Chief here that I reviewed very recently. Now, you guys can tell, he is not the color he started out with. I decided to play around with some weathering techniques and using different stuff at my disposal. So we have a little bit of Tamiya weathering kit borrowed from Mr. Nick Willie. We've also got just straight up Tamiya paints, also some Mr. Hobby paints or Mr. Color paints. So just everything I've got at my disposal, Gundam marker, all of the above. So you can see still right about here in the thighs underneath the armor, that is what the original green was. You can see now it's definitely been darkened. I've gone over it with a ton of soot and rust and other dirt, stuff like that. You've got a lot more darkening going on here. I've actually gone through and panel lined quite a lot. It doesn't have super crisp panel lines like a Gundam kit, but he definitely has some through here, all these little details, stuff like that. Things got a little bit of dark gray effect, so like right through here, I added a little bit. This is all nice and dirty right through here now. And then like these little areas up here, got some gray. Let me see if I can zoom in, save focus. So this little area right in here, got some gray. This was all just green, so I added a little bit of weathering, a little bit of darkness, some silver, even some gunmetal. Zoom back out. You can see back here, because these are supposed to be lights, I went ahead and added some white and then some like super sky blue. Same thing right next to the cheeks. I'm going to raise the camera up just a hair so you can see. So the lights that are right next to the face got some white and some blue as well. I've actually done a little bit of a copper wash on the face, so it's not the same color that it started out with. Also did a little bit of more gray just around the edges, got a little bit of slop right in there, no big deal. Head got a little bit of panel lining and some weathering. You can see a little bit of silver knockoff bits. Come down here on the legs, you get a couple more spots with some light up areas. Come down here into the feet and got some grime, some rust all up in there, some dirt. You know, bit of a silver wash going in on some of it. The silver disappeared a little bit after I flat coated it, but if you guys remember, this was kind of metallic-ish, but I actually went over it with the silver and some gunmetal, and you can see it's just got a little bit more of a metallic sheen, a little bit of little different character going on there. Now the hands, it's gonna be hard to focus probably. The hands got the same treatment, silver, some gunmetal, even some gray just thrown in there just for effect. Everything needed just a little bit, just to help it along. The shoulders here, gonna be a little harder to see. Another little light right underneath there. Did on both sides. Same thing right in the middle of the chest, right there. So he got some details that were just totally lacking. Come to the back, you'll see a lot of work done. So it's not just the one color anymore. A lot more grays, a lot of silver, extra detail. This butt plate, I've actually thrown on some putty just to keep it in place. It will not stay. The holes are not even remotely the same size. Yeah, so it had to get some putty to keep that bit on there. Of course, you see the pegs are still here. The thrusters got a little bit of gray. It's harder to see because I got the light. I had to pull the light down so low. There we go. See a little bit better. Any of the parts like underneath, you can still see some of the original color, but because that's underneath all the armor, that wouldn't be anywhere near as dirty. That's just the way things work. So anywhere that the armor is, did not get any weathering under it, so that's just how it do. So still get some ab crunch, like so. Plant the feet. You could still look really intimidating. Am I still zoomed in? And yeah, guys, I'm on a makeshift kind of set in the living room here, because Shoky Cave is still drying out a little bit. Like I said, didn't get terribly wet, but it got wet enough that I'm making sure everything is dried out before I start spending a lot of time in there. The office is finally back, maintenance is finally back, so hopefully slowly we'll get some stuff fixed. Now you'll notice he doesn't currently have a hand on there. Scooch him back here. Hopefully he's still lit well. It's hard to tell on my screen what's going on. So the sword, you guys remember the sword was a nice blue color. I went ahead and hit it with some metallic blue and some metallic red Gundam marker just to add some sheen and some kind of, you know, effect to it. I think it looks pretty good. Could be a little bit better, but not worried about it. The hand is puttied to the sword. Actually, probably squeeze it down just a little bit more. Honestly, because the hands are so soft, it doesn't really want to grip the sword at all. So the putty in there just helping it. If I had some good glue, I would definitely glue it in place. Autofocus sucks in 60 frames. But yeah, so that still connects in the same way, which I think this is part of the reason why the fingers get a little stretchy, because pulling it in and out, you end up putting so much stress on those fingers that it just has no grip. Actually, if I leave it long enough just holding the sword, it will just fall out of the hand entirely. Kinda sucks. So that's one of the few things. It would have been better just to go ahead and mold the hand directly to the sword and paint it up. I think it would have been a much better option. You can see that it looks pretty neat. You can see the blue, but through the white now you can see the red and blue swirling kind of effect going on there. Very minor stuff, guys. Like, everything I've done to this is, while it was a lot of work, and I always stress this when it comes to weathering and stuff like that, it's a lot of work, but it's not hard. So, I mean, that just looks really friggin' good. The feet and everything, he still has a hard time standing. He's still going to want to fall over. Can't really avoid that. Some of the knee joints, stuff like that, are a little wonky. Now we'll look at the gun, which it got some attention, not a ton. So I've added, you can see here, right up front, you can see some dirt and stuff that would focus. You know, did a little bit of panel lining, a little bit of dusting and stuff. I may have to go over it a little bit more, because I've done a wash even after it was clear coated. I went ahead and did a wash on it, but so some of the soot and gunmetal stuff up front may not be as good as it should be. Come on. So yeah, I mean, I really do like it. I do wish the thumb would hold in just a little bit better, but it's actually really good. Like, it was just this kind of flat gray, but now I've added some silver, some gunmetal powder to it just to make it a little bit nicer. And so yeah, of course, he can hold his gun just as it goes. You guys are following my Instagram and my Twitter. I already posted pictures of this guy. Tweeted out to Bobby Skullface, because I know how he likes his figures to be a little bit more washed and stuff like that. He actually liked and retweeted the photo. That was actually pretty awesome of him. So, Chief looks really good with his gun. Let me lower the camera just a tad. There we go. And he can still hold the gun like a badass guitar. That looks really, really good. I can't take a picture of that right now, but yeah, it looks good. And at this angle, you can see the blue paint standing out from all those different things. Let's see if we can throw on the sword on there just real quick. Just for giggles. Go ahead and throw that on his hip. Like I said, I really wish they had a version of that where the blade was not attached. I think it would be amazing. But that's going to be it, guys. I just wanted to do a quick update video and show you what you can do with, you know, a few hours time. Like, I've been trapped at home for the last 4 or 5 days. Still not working. So this is what you could do if you got a lot of time and just some basic Gundam effects or weathering effects and paint and stuff like that at your disposal. So if you guys have any questions, just go ahead and hit me up down below in the comments. As always, I want to thank my patrons. You guys are awesome. And guys, if keep Texas in your prayers. You know, it's still crazy, and of course Louisiana and other states are now dealing with the hurricane problem as well. But yeah, this is what I'm doing to deal with the issues, guys. But remember, as always, keep on nerding, and I'll talk to you on the next review.